is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be, obviously from the thumbnail, going back and having a look at last week to see how Amber's doing this week, because it's weigh-in time, and I have no doubt in my mind we're looking at an absolute barnstorming success, because she knows what's best for Amber that is, which means Amber is undoubtedly going to make great strides in her weight loss journey, where she's currently sitting at a plus 200 pound handicap.
Hey guys, so welcome to my weigh-in. I am getting around to filming this pretty late at night. I already did my live stream and everything, and usually by my Tuesday live stream, I've already had this filmed, edited, and scheduled to go up for the next day.
I'm assuming we're all on the same page here where we know she's doing this late, this just sit here and talk to camera thing, which is totally a vlog and not a Captain's Log Dear Diary-esque rip-off thing, because she's completely undone herself, and she's been having a jolly good cry and panic about it, or think, writing in her journals, to make up an excuse that may well help her better articulate her failings. Because there's always an excuse, never a real solution, even when her audience keep giving it to her, and I haven't even shown you the comments to this video yet because I don't want to look at it just yet. No, I don't want to spoil the surprise for myself or for you.
But I'm not feeling the greatest, and I'm going to tell you the reason why in this video, so let's just get straight to it.
I won't lie, I'm expecting some top-tier excuses right now. Amber set herself a series of goals for our dainty queen, the half-ton heifer, and Amber's goals are, even by the standards of a normal person or even someone who's overweight, unmanageable, unreasonable. Also a complete fabrication because she surpasses them. She has to, again, to maintain. So this is all quite bog standard lol cow territory of, we're going to dive into it, but we're not. Not until I've got that AdSense, right?
What makes you say that the eating scenes in 600 Pound Life are exaggerated and not real?
I've seen a few clips of that, and I do think there is a lot of realism with what you see. Undoubtedly they will sensationalize it if they can, but do try to remember the human body is not meant to weigh 600 pounds. That, for the most part, is a personal choice. You'd know that, because for many years in fact, people have asked you if you'd ever go on, and you keep saying no, but I do think you will. I think you want to. I think you think with your internet notoriety, infamy, fame, glory, celebrity status as a social media influencer, that may well yield a positive outcome for you. Reality is, no, because a lot of those that go on that show actually bother to do something about what they're doing. Their life, that is, the lack thereof, because of mobility and diminishing and deteriorating health. You're quite happy for it, though, because you can trot it out as an excuse to not amount to anything. Your only success in life is that you have 240,000+ subscribers. That's the only thing you have. It's not much, really, is it?
So I said that in a past weigh-in video because it's true. I've actually been contacted by multiple people who have been in 600 Pound Life, and I myself have contacted a couple people myself. And I'm also actually pretty good friends with 2 people who have been on shows like that, and they do exaggerate those scenes, especially in 600 Pound Life. And I only know that because people who have been on 600 Pound Life have told me that personally. Plus, I am also someone who is over 500 pounds. I was almost 600 pounds at one point.
I think at this point with your historical revisionism, it should be worth adding you binge all the time. You binge to this day. You know damn well the accuracy of that show. You know that, but you're trying to act as if you're an authority. It's an appeal to authority fallacy. I should also additionally point out, it doesn't matter who you've contacted, this doesn't apply to all. Do you think there's some uniformity to obesity or something? If that's the case, you haven't watched 600 Pound Life, which is a bit embarrassing, really, isn't it? Then again, you spend most of your time watching your haters, so yay for them, right?
Why do you think people freak out about the size of a 20-piece nugget, but will order a 10-piece with a large fry and act like that is any better?
People didn't freak out about the size of the nuggies or the portion size. By the way, I know you wrote these questions, don't try me. When it comes to you ordering takeout, though, that is the crux of the problem. You acting as if you don't like things because of texture is laughable, because to maintain your weight, there's no way you're paying that much attention to what you're putting in your body, or what comes out. In fact, I think the only thing you pay attention to is the poor defenseless recently adopted washcloths you're using to wipe that ass. Let's be real, Amber. This question is another one of those ego-fueled, rigged questions for your own narcissism. Why don't you put some questions in that actually matter? Like, how many washcloths died at the hands of your ass? And where's Rarity? But flip the order, please. We'd like to know where Rarity is first.
Good point. I think just like hearing a 20-piece nugget, it's like, whoa, that's crazy. But when you do the calories for a 20-piece nugget versus like a regular meal that you can get at McDonald's, which is a 10-piece nugget with a large fry, it's about the same calories. There's a little bit more calories in the nugget and fry, but the protein and the carbs are better if you just get the 20-piece nugget.
That may well be the case if you consider McDonald's to be food, but you forfeited 900 calories for 20 nuggies. 900 calories for what you were allotting as your daily intake was potentially 25% of your intake. Over something that small, that was wasted calories. You would have been better off for size of portion alone and quality of food buying chicken breasts and cooking them yourself. Grill them, wrap them in bacon. Honestly, you'd get more out of that and you'd fill your stomach. Now we know you're packing your stomach with something else. You have to be. There's not enough cottage cheese and mustard in the land to fill that belly. So you are eating something else. The criticism is, you're presenting that as a dainty-sized meal for you, but the calories aren't dainty, and we know there's something else. Chantal's at least honest enough to admit the bonus sandwich exists anyway. You just won't admit anything else exists because this is your takeout. This is your one allotted one 3 times a week or once a week or whatever it is you claim to be the case, which is also a lie.
I think people like to play mind tricks because like when you see like sodium, for an example, on nutrition labels, you don't really think about your own sodium consumption. I see so many people telling me, oh my god, Amberlynn, like that's so much sodium in that ramen that you're eating, blah, blah, blah. But the same people will make rice-a-roni for them and their family, not realizing that that also has a lot of sodium, or even just like a can of corn.
I see we're doing mental gymnastics of gaslighting and asserting. I've highlighted your sodium intake because I know what the recommended daily intake is. You go way beyond it all the time, and then you blame it for water weight. You don't pay attention to your macros. And if you really want to take this seriously, you have to. If you truly want to make a difference with your life, living vicariously through others or talking about their lives as if it's relatable to yours is not going to help you. Because ultimately the only thing that matters is what you do with what you take in. And I mean what you really take in. Not what you present to us as your fictitious attempt of a life and meal plans that are not true in the slightest. Seriously, if I ate what you ate in a day, you claim to eat in a day based on how active I am, I'd lose weight. So don't try and tell us for a moment that this is real. Well, I should point out, you can't cook. You ruin steak, you butcher chicken, you don't know how to cook onion, honestly, and don't get me started on that crap you call cottage cheese.
Have you thought about asking ChatGPT how many calories you should eat to lose weight?
Disclaimer. Do not use ChatGPT for nutritional advice. If you do, I hope you enjoy the race to the bottom. Seriously. If you need help losing weight, speak to a professional. If you have money to waste on things like FDA not approved semaglutide multiple times, Ozempic, you have money to waste on little adventures here and there and on crap you buy on Amazon or Torrid or U-Haul, then you have money to speak to a nutritionalist. To a therapist, a proper one that may well bully you with a whip because you need it to get your rear end, your shelf butt in gear. You don't have much time left, Amber. Either make the most of it and make change, be an example, a beacon, or be a failure that will be acknowledged as such through the annals of history until you are forgotten and replaced with one of the Goro World reactors, because I can think of one who will replace you as a suitable lolcow. Just one.
So I never thought about it, so I decided to do it. And when I did do it, it prompted me. It was like, can you tell me a bit about yourself? Can you tell me like age, weight, height, any medical things that could be wrong with you? And I like that aspect because like when you try to do these like metabolic rate things online, it literally just asks for your height, your gender, and your weight. And it's like, no, there's more to it. So I thought that was cool that ChatGPT actually asked for that. So here's the screenshot. And as you can see, ChatGPT thinks that I should eat anywhere between 2,200 and 2,400, which is something I've always said. And it literally shows the reason why I should be eating at this lower limit.
Amber, 2,200 is a typical intake for an average person. 2,400 is also not overly difficult if you're marginally active. During the winter, I will eat close to 2,800 because the body needs it, it's colder, and I'm still just as active. And I don't put on weight. I make sure they're good calories though. That's what I do. And there's a difference between dead calories and good ones. There's a very big difference. This is marginally above an average person. You are not an average person. You have to be eating at least double to maintain your weight. If you're really serious about weight loss, don't take advice. Yeah, I fumbled. Don't take its advice and speak to a sodding professional and listen to them for a change. This novelty is beyond parody. And by the way, we know you asked yourself this question. You might want to get tested for megalomania.
Such as weight loss is slower for me due to the lipedema and the lymphedema and how that fluid retention shows up on the scale a lot, which I've also said to you guys. Pretty much everything that ChatGPT says in the screenshot is exactly what I've said. Like how my metabolism is a lot slower due to hysterectomy.
Yes, it is well known that it can in fact lead to some slowing of the metabolism. We know this, especially if the ovaries are removed. Typical problems include hormonal shifts, change in sleep patterns, muscle loss, reduced physical activity. The problem with this is, you had these before. If it's easier to gain weight after, don't attribute it to it. Change your life, because that's all you can do. That's the only thing you should do, and you don't do. You're not more active. You can get hormone replacement therapy. It's not overly difficult, and if you can waste money on things like semaglutide, you can damn well pay for the hormones you need to balance your body out. This isn't rocket science. Again, it's about what you actually want to do. And Amber knows best. So what Amber wants to do is get that hidden stuffed box of Twinkies that are loaded, hidden behind her couch, no doubt, and just carry on chowing down. Get the conveyor belt out and have them shoved into her gob for free.
So I'm curious. I was like, ChatGPT, how many calories do I need for myself to maintain the weight that I'm at? ChatGPT confirms the misconceptions are not real. I need between 3,200 to 3,400, which is actually really easy for me. Like eating that is very easy for someone my size. And it's actually pretty easy to do without even realizing it. And for some reason, people just don't want to believe that. I don't understand why.
I think your weighing will help because you're not going to be going down much in weight. And you've been gaining for a while. We've never seen you actually weigh in. You look like you've gotten bigger and bigger, so the number you're going to give us later will undoubtedly be a lie. We knew it was over 3,000 calories a day to maintain your weight. We all said that. Most of us are positive it was actually closer to 3,800, which is also, if 3,400 is easy for you, not too difficult, is it now, you silly bish? It's not a misconception, you're just selectively taking in information. There are a few health-related YouTubers who are posited it was the higher end of 3,000, because they're experts on this. ChatGPT is not.
How often do you grocery shop? So I'll either go every week or bi-weekly. So sometimes I'll skip a week, but definitely only once a week.
I can believe this because of your size, you order more takeout than you actually bother to cook. You should cook more because it makes you more mobile, but then you don't know how to cook. So I guess you're stuck, aren't you now?
Is your new friend a caretaker because you are so big? Y'all, the goalpost has absolutely moved. Like, it's ridiculous. So at first I would talk about my friend in my videos and people would be like, oh my god, she's imaginary, or oh my god, like Amberlynn's making up this friend. And now that you guys have heard her voice in my videos, the goalpost has moved and now it's a caretaker. Like, stop with the fat phobia.
You're a half-ton heifer, and you're not far away from being near the area of bedbound. You can barely stand up for more than an hour a day. There's no way you wipe your rooty-tooty stinky booty because your arms can't reach. Even with aid, you're still more likely using the corner of a unit with a kitchen towel on, because I think you move past washcloths. Microfiber might be an option though. Yeah, I hear they're reusable. You undoubtedly need someone to help you perform certain duties. Don't forget here when you were doing semaglutide you had your mother do the injections for you, because you couldn't find the right fatty deposit to stick it in, as if there isn't enough of it. And let's not forget here in recent videos you've been uploading yourself wearing 4XL clothing, even though you are 6. And it shows. You are clearly thirst posting and prepping for another relationship, we all can tell. And by the way, the nervous laughter we heard at the start of this gave you away. They are most certainly a caretaker of some kind, maybe part-time. A person that comes in and washes your back, your crack, your sack, and maybe your hair too. It looks a bit straggly. Don't waste what you have that might be useful. Your hair is actually moderately good, or was.
I understand that I'm really large, but I live by myself. No one comes in my apartment. Like, not even my mom. Every time we hang out, we're always hanging out like outside of my apartment, going and doing things and spending time out. I don't need a caretaker. I don't need anyone to help me with anything.
I think we both know since you're over 500 pounds that is demonstrably proven by yourself to be a falsity. Let's face it, you need all the help you can get. You're just too arrogant and full of yourself to accept you need help. You don't get to half-ton heifer or on the path to half-ton heifer by not needing it. By the way, if you can't shelve your pride, that's quite alright. You don't have to. Again, while none of us wish it, we know you're racing yourself to the bottom. So a lot of us are just wondering who takes your place, because you're refusing to change for the better, for yourself.
I do not have a caretaker, and I have never had a caretaker, and I will never have a caretaker.
Based on what we now know that you've confirmed from your relationship with Beck, Beck would like to beg to differ on this one. And we now know, with proof, that you were not only bedbound, but you were caretaken, if that's even a term, by Beck. Don't try us. We don't believe you need a caretaker. We need someone to give you a jolly good slap around the face and tell you to change. Because apparently every verbal form of communication has failed with you. You need reality. The last time reality struck you, well, it didn't work. You just had a hysterectomy and moved on with your life. Any other person that would have shaken them to their core and yielded a positive outcome. Not Amber though, because Amber knows best, which is why she put on more weight since then.
My friend is my friend because it is someone that I met in person, and I realize I clicked with. I enjoy being around her, and vice versa. We laugh, we have fun, we share the same hobbies, like literally just a friend. And this is like also another reason why my friends or anyone in my life will never be on camera again. Yes, you'll see my mom here and there, but that is it. Because all you've heard is a voice, and already the rumors are starting.
Once you truly poison the well with that person, I fully expect them to put you on blast anyway. Since most of your exes have done it anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if your caretakers did the same. Shall we move on, Amber?
Alright, so let's get into the goals that I had for last week, and did I succeed in those? So last week my goal was to follow a meal plan for 5 days out of 7, and I did not do that.
Let me guess. It was because of a random problem that makes no sense, but you're going to try and find a way to make it make sense to you. And when you vocalize it, to you it makes sense, but the rest of us, it will sound like absolute bullcrap.
I wanted to have like a huge veggie plate every single day for lunch, and I did not succeed in all 5 days.
Considering your goals are basic nothing burgers, what did that tell us about what's going on in your head? At this point, I've gotten to a stage where, as much as I want to show you humanity, you won't even show it to yourself. So why bother anymore? Because how are you supposed to do anything for yourself to help yourself if you're only being very literal and helping yourself to anything but what you're meant to help yourself to?
So my goals for the next week are literally just to win over this like defeat that I feel inside of me. Right now, I literally just feel that defeat feeling. I am having emotions that I feel right before I give up. I want to beat the feeling more times than I don't.
Don't worry guys, the defeat will end when she starts on the 1st of a month on a Monday right at the start of a year. If it doesn't begin on a Monday, the 1st of that month of the respective year that is, then she'll wait for the year where it does do that. Until then, expect more failure, of course. Only when it starts on the 1st of a month for the first month of the year can she truly succeed, and then the year has to be even as well. Can't have odd numbers.
And then I also want to start drinking 3 water bottles a day instead of just 2.
Have you considered buying bigger bottles? Or using a filter? I would suggest bigger bottles, because then you're not having to waste so much plastic. But since you don't listen to people at all, this weird flex of all but 3 waters a day, oh my life I'm going to bloom like a flower, is a bit trite at this point, isn't it?
Alright, so now let's talk about how my week went. So I was doing pretty decent. I was staying below the 3,400 calories that Noom wants me to eat. I was definitely eating in moderation, so I was allowing myself to have like the unhealthy things, but also inviting a bunch of like fruits and vegetables and healthier foods into my diet. There was one day where I overate and I chose like the most horrific foods that day because like I said, we are not perfect over here. Like if I woke up one day and I came on here and I was like, you guys...
You, Amber, Reed, are such a smeghead. Seriously, you mentioned your diet? A somewhat ironic term for somebody who lives a sedentary life. A diet complements something else. It complements activity. All you've done is eat. That's all you've done. I'm not surprised you do nothing else, because you can't physically do anything else. You just try and look as cute as possible, but we all know you wipe your backside with a washcloth on the edge of a sink. Fam, you're as dirty as they get. And we know you're dirty as well because of the number of exes that have come out against you. The whole Emily thing was quite interesting, wasn't it? I assume people noticed the Instagram name change to Amber Kill.
So this is where things get hecticana. A few days ago, I mean, I'm telling you, it was storming really bad. It was flooding. There was flood warnings. It was really, really bad. And I was out with my mom, and I didn't realize when I got home that the flood was going to be near me. So to get into my apartment, which was literally the only way to get into my apartment.
What on earth is this story she's telling? Is this about how you lost weight or gained weight? Oh god, please don't tell me this is a weight gain story. I beg you don't tell me you put on weight from stepping in a puddle or something. You're not a sponge.
I had to step and walk in water that literally like went up to the middle of my calf. I was pissed about it, obviously. Like, I have lymphedema and lipedema, and my skin and my body is just really sensitive to things.
Bitch! I don't know how I'm going to phrase this. I don't care what's in your legs. I really don't. No one does. You walk like a South Park character. You blame lymphedema, lipedema, you have an arse that looks like a shelf. Spirit levels are leveled on your backside. Seriously. Nothing cute about that, or your legs. Actually, or anything really with you. You walked in a puddle that came up to halfway, like, up your calf. Congratulations. Who cares? Is it because you couldn't dry your legs off properly, Amber? Is that it? Please don't tell me, I have a sneaky feeling this is going to go this way. Don't tell me you think you gain water like that. You're not like a reverse tap in the legs. I promise you're not.
So I was soaking wet. My pants were soaking wet. My legs were soaking wet. My shoes were soaking wet. Came home. I showered. I sadly woke up the next day with cellulitis. So there's two versions of cellulitis. There is version 1, where I get all of like the physical leg symptoms. Red, painful, like you can tell there's like a massive infection. But then I also get the shivers, and I get 103 temperature. I am puking profusely. TMI, I have diarrhea. I can't eat for days on end. And I lose a bunch of weight doing that. Or there's B. I still get the leg is red. The leg is painful. You can tell that there is an infection. And I really just feel general malaise. Like, I don't have any of those other puking, fever symptoms. That's where I'm at here.
Amber, do you think stepping in water gave you cellulitis? In the context of what you've done, who you are you really going to try us with that? Bear in mind here, we haven't seen your leg, so no one can confirm this. You've not gone to a doctor and had it diagnosed, you're asserting it. So we don't have evidence of any kind that you have what you say you have. It feels like you're gearing up for an excuse, and I can't wait for you to say how much you put on. Yes, I'm going to call it now. I think you put on weight. The title of the video kind of gave it away a little, but I'm curious. Because if you genuinely want us to believe you put on weight and it's cellulitis, or from your stepping in a puddle, it might want to be a low amount. Because if you're going to go with the water weight argument, I promise you it's not going to hold much here with us.
So I got cellulitis from walking in the dirty water from the flood, which is really freaking unfortunate. And a part of me like knew that was going to happen. That's why I immediately came home and showered. But when you have lipedema and lymphedema, like your lymphatic system does not flow the same. So that already makes it to where it's harder to fight infections. No matter how much you bathe, no matter how much you clean yourself. So when you have lipedema and lymphedema, it also causes poor circulation.
Amber, at this point, I think the only way you're ever going to have people agree or relate to you or trust you would be for you to show us your medical portal. If you have cellulitis, prove it. Lymphedema, lipedema, prove it. Binge eating disorder, prove that as well. Prove everything you've said in the past. Prove it. Because all we get is you just staring at the camera with a somewhat monotonous delivery with slight inflections and words that are made up, along with you just making fact up as well, in an attempt to make you appear as if you're telling the truth. But since you provide none, I don't believe any of it. And by the way, if you've gained weight this week, I can't wait for you to excuse it next week when you don't lose it all. Because healing usually helps in that department, doesn't it? Not a 20-piece nuggy box.
But I stepped on the scale and I gained weight because I'm extremely swollen. Like the infection has my leg super fucking swollen and it's uncomfortable and it just sucks. Because when you see my weigh-in, when I show you the screenshot from Noom, you'll see that I was losing weight. And then when I got cellulitis, it's like all of that didn't even matter. I immediately gained in fluid retention from the swelling. Last week I was 5'17". This week I am 5'21.6".
Oh, Amber. Oh, that's not good, is it? But it's water weight, everyone, from an infection that you can't prove and you won't show. Okay, but you'll happily wear clothes that don't fit you to be skin tight. Alright. Also, you kept that screenshot on the screen for about 1 second. Not even a lie. You really didn't keep it there for long before going back to you because you're more important and because you don't want us to see your little failing. By that I mean you're yo-yoing. Everything's a slip-up after X number of days, and it's the same number of days. It's embarrassing, Amber, because you don't commit to actual weight loss. You only commit to a brief little blip on the downward turn. That's it. Because then you think you've earned a reward, which is why you say it as this way, you slip up. You don't slip up. You want to do that. You want to fail. You've always wanted to fail, Amber. It's in your nature. If we are to believe that you have an infection right now and you're taking what you need to take to get better, would I be right to assume then you'll surely lose all of it next week? I guess we'll find out then, folks. As a final thing, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch tonight, some ships at sea, yes, a fishing game. Hope to see you there. If not, have a wonderful day. Thank you all very much for listening.